we're starting at the end of my street. Once the car gets past, we'll head off to the trail and see what happens from there. This was early spring, end of April, beginning of May. We just had a big windstorm, so there's some rubble and that on the trail. But it is kind of a nice ride. Clear sunny day. Very warm. It's somewhere around about 18 degrees. Just beautiful. We go through the trail, right at the end of the road, and off to the right would be the local school. The playground for the school and the sports field joins right onto the trail, which makes it really nice for the kids. This trail is an integral part of the community. It ties right in completely around the area. Once we get onto the main trail, it's groomed a little nicer. It's run by the local conservation area in cooperation with the Rails to Trails group locally. This part was put in by a builder to join the trail to the town of Elora. Makes it pretty nice for getting around the area for joggers, mothers with babies, and old trekkers like myself. You'll have to excuse my size 13's getting in the way. This really was shot with the nose cam, so there's not much in the way of side views, but it gives a pretty good idea of what the trail is like here. Coming past the local lumber yard and heading up behind a subdivision. I'm going to hit the only paved section of the trail other than the street just ahead, on a bit of a hill, so it makes it easy and nice to get up. It's not really as rough as it looks. It's just the day after the windstorm. This was around about 11 o'clock in the morning. Not many people on the trail. Coming up to the main entry now. Where the road clears. And then across the marked section and into the parking area for the trail. It's an off-road parking area where you can park your car and unload your bike, and away you go. Here we go. Yep. It's actually become a pretty popular route between the two towns of Fergus and Elora when they joined together to become Central Wellington. This really was a uniting factor in the community. There we go. Trike is a solar hybrid, solar human hybrid actually. I provide a little motive power, as you can see. There's a solar panel mounted on top of the trike, and it recharges the batteries for the electric assist. Makes for a very nice ride. Also, the solar panel provides a nice shade area for me to sit underneath. Not so bad right now, but in the summertime when it gets really hot and sunny around here, it's awful nice to have that bit of shade. You can see here, tree down across the trail. Interesting getting by it. Fortunately, some of the local boys took a chainsaw and went out and cleaned up the trail a bit. That's the beauty of this area. The locals take pride in the area and help to maintain it. You're coming this way, you come past farmers' fields and cows and horses and chickens and pigs, just about everything. You're riding parallel along here for a bit to a connecting road, but for most of it you're in a very nice natural area. As you can see, that wind did a terrible amount of damage to some of the older trees in this area. It got up to 110 clicks. That's a pretty strong wind for this area. We don't normally get that kind of stuff. One other thing you'll notice is that on the trail, people are very good and very careful about picking up their garbage. And that includes dog droppings and all the rest. Riding down where I am, you get a pretty good view of all the trash that could get left behind. And my usual routine is to stop, pick it up, put it in a pocket, and when I get to the end of the trails, drop it into a garbage can. Doesn't take a second, and it sure helps. Another tree down there. See the ones laying off to the side there in the brush? Just nasty. I wish I had a side camera on this right now so you could really see what I'm seeing, but just with the nose camera footage you do get a pretty good idea of the trail. There we go. Some of these gates seem awful narrow for the trike, but we managed to get through them. You just have to slow down. It's one of the major crossings. This road is going to leads to a library, up to the local police station, the OPPs. The boys are pretty good, the boys and girls. They keep an eye on the trail themselves, riding it every day. I usually stop here for a little bit just before going through the other gate and then continue on. On the second run, I'll be stopping just ahead to check out the construction on the new hospital. What is really neat about the trail is that businesses along the trail and facilities put in joiners so that the trail actually connects to the businesses. Once the hospital is built, there'll be a trail connection to it, so you can pedal off the trail right up to the hospital, which could come in handy. Still a little bit of rubble on the trail, as you can see. Hasn't been groomed at all since winter. Winter it's used for not snowmobiling. They don't allow motorized vehicles, but it's used for cross-country skiing, hiking, and snowshoeing. The amount of snow we get around here, it's not a bad idea to have the use for the trail. Some sections of the trail, which runs for, I guess, about 85 kilometers in total, right up to the Forks of the Credit, are used for snowmobiling and horseback riding. It's an all-purpose trail. There we go, back on the bike. Took a little break there to check out the construction. It's pretty interesting for an old fella to have a look at things like that. What we're coming up on right now is the entrance into the Fergus area. You'll see people off to the left side, just ahead. What they're doing is they're out there to observe a fox den. That was the little foxes built a den right by the trail, so people come down there, film it, and they're pretty safe. You'll just see them coming up right about now. You can see them there. Nice folks. There we go. A group of them observing the little foxes, checking out the den. Gorgeous day. Fergus end up here. This section here, later on in the summer, the local Lions Club puts in a porta potty, which, believe me, is handy. Right now it's just a garbage drop off on the local bench. I just pull over and park here, the parking area in Fergus, to get on the trail again. As you can see, people headed, going for the walk. When I was a kid, this was a train line running straight down here, right by the big factories. Now it's been converted into the trail. Gets good use. Coming up to the roadway section. Now what I'm going to do is head down towards the High Trestle Trail, which is part of the trail system around here. But it actually heads back towards Elora quite a bit. It comes out over top of the Grand River. It's a very nice addition. The main trail itself, the Cataract Trail, continues down that street there and then goes through Fergus on street, quiet area, and reconnects to the rail trail on the far side of Fergus. But I personally like this little loop here. Come in past the old foundry and towards the local North Side Mall shopping area. And past the old foundry here, which is a bookstore, feed supply, welding shop, just about everything in there. You can see the trucks. They're repairing the hydro lines from the damage of the windstorm. This is a newer section of the trail. Been improved. Local kids had a tree planting along here. Gates are still narrow though. And here we go. In behind the shopping area. Leaving the town of Fergus and heading down towards what used to be the train line running to Guelph, which is the city just south of us. But now it's a rail trail and it just runs over to Elora. People walking this trail too. You'll notice that pedestrians and that on the trail, they really do respect the fact that you're on a bicycle or a tricycle and stay right out of your way as soon as they notice you there. Very good sharing on this trail. Very good sharing. They're a well-educated community. ahead there is a set of stairs that you can take on the right side to go down to the old settler cemetery, or on the left side, pardon me. The left side takes you down to the settler cemetery, and the right side takes you up to the county museum and library. They put bicycle troughs on it, so if you're on a bicycle, you can literally set your bicycle on the trough and wheel it right down the stairs or up the stairs as you come. A couple more pedestrians on the trail. Wee doggies. Always fun. They're great. They love it when I'm down this low. They can come right up and stick their noses in my face. Okay, here we come to the first road crossing and the stairs I was telling you about. Still a bit of wind damage here, you can see. Won't take long to get it cleaned up. Yep, there's the stairs, left and right. Now we're coming up to the first road crossing. This trestle is across here, the steel trestle goes across the county road, and they use it as a gateway. Once again, a little narrow, but I can squeeze through. Last year they did decking on it, all new decking and railing to make it a lot safer. And that's an access area down to a parking lot. Now we're coming up to the high trestle over the Grand River up here. When I was a kid a long time ago, I used to actually ride my bicycle on the train track. And we'd cross this trestle, even though it was an open train track trestle, because it saved us about 5 miles of pedaling on our bicycles. So we would put our bike on the rail and ride her across. And you're up about 60 feet in the air and you hear that train whistle behind you. It doesn't take you long to get across the road. Now it's a lovely, lovely safe area. Good decking all the way across. A lot of local labor went into this. Volunteers put this all down. Really good job. Nice fencing that allows a wonderful view of the river. As you can see, families come out here. The wee ones are totally safe up here. Quite neat. I'm just going to take a little break myself right here. And I'll continue to the end of the trestle and I'll turn around down there. Okay, I'm going to head down to the end of the trestle now. Then I'm just going to turn around. And that'll be the end of this bit of the tour. I hope you enjoyed it. Wasn't too long and boring. Hoping in the future I'll have my 360 cam set up so you can get a view off to the side. Right now, just nose cam footage. I should actually call it foot cam footage because that's all you're seeing. There's my size 13s bouncing along. Quick turnaround, and thanks very much for joining me on this trip. Hope you enjoyed it.